There it is. Alright, what the hell? Every time I keep pulling it up, it says live stream offline.
Yeah. Gotta refresh.
Talking to me?
Yep.
I did. There it is. Okay.
Yeah, it's live. I'm seeing it.
Turn my sound down. I ain't dealing with this.
Alright. Give some time for everybody to get in here. Gotta refresh. Alright, you here, Sean?
Yep, I'm here.
Alrighty, welcome back everybody to another episode on over Mississippi River Valley. Today we're doing a little false fertilizer spreading for next year's crops. Just want to start out here. We're here at a local fertilizer dealership, Midwood Incorporated, at their fertilizer plant here, and we're going to be doing a little spreading with Sean, their applicator. We got this nice case tighten with the airflow booms on it. Pretty nice unit. And then we got a nice tender behind us because we're going to try to get as much spread as we can tonight. So just so everybody can hear, Sean, you can say hi to everybody. I believe your audio should be included. Yep, there you go.
Yep. Hello, everyone.
All right. So let's just go ahead and we'll head out to the field. But anyway, well, we'll head out to the field once the semi gets unstuck. Come on. Need to find a proper fertilizer tender here.
And you shouldn't have overloaded, I guess.
Well, you know, I don't like making trips across the Mississippi here, so probably could fit a little more in this box. But you being the operator, that's your call.
Oh man, must be that guy's first day. Oh, looks like your auger's getting hung up.
Yeah, it's hanging up on that truck, sadly. We'll go up and do those 3 bean fields first, and then switch up the rate. I think we want to put corn on those 3 fields to the north, and then it'll be beans on where all the stalks are. But we'll see how quick you are at spreading. We might get to it, we may not. So.
So what are we spreading today, Gus?
Well, I know you're the operator here. I mean, we're going. No, I got you. We've got some just some 923. Haven't gridded it yet. I'd like to, but if we go off character here a little bit, can't really do that and farm some. So
I was
just gotta
gonna say, I
run.
don't have a map in front of me to know what we're spreading here.
Well, I need to talk to the salesman there. He's not doing his job really for you. Guess being an old employee, they just send me out with you and point you in the right direction. We just get her done.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes, right?
Right.
We get the maps, we get it done. Everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy. No, just some 923. Hopefully when we get those cows I've been wanting, we can cut that back a little bit, but for right now, we'll just go full rate on it. Hope that semi can traverse this road.
I was wondering if he made it through town.
Ah, he's back here. I don't know who you got for tender drivers up there, but you probably just park that truck by the bends and get all that spread. It's kind of nice, no traffic out today. Don't have to deal with all the cars.
Is there really much traffic at all on that game?
Well, there is. It's just not
Just
included
ground
on
equipment.
just not included on this version. Thing I'm not a big fan of the case airflows. The boom's in the center.
Yeah, those are kind of goofy looking.
Yeah. I mean, I know you got a hard on for the case spreaders, but
No, not that kind of spreader.
oh yeah, you like your big dual one.
Yeah.
Hey Ryan, how's it going tonight? I'm doing
Hey,
pretty
Ryan,
decent.
how you doing?
Out here with Sean from Midwood, doing a little spreading on some fall fertilizer. Now, what do you think? 2 headlands with this monstrosity of a unit?
A 2 headland pass? How big's your planter?
Well, we got the, what is that? DB60, or we got the 90. I won't bring the 90 in here. It's just way too big.
One strip would be alright, I think.
Just try to keep off the edge.
No, you want to keep keep the semi off the edge. That'd be great.
Well, you know, we got that filter strip there, so I'm not worried about losing too much nutrient. Oh, we got got the owner of the co-op here watching us. We better make sure we're doing everything legal.
That's right, hitting the headlands and making sure you dot your I's and cross your T's on your done.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, Gus, with that size of that machine, I might do 2 headland passes with that.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I don't know how the turning radius is here.
Doesn't look very good.
No. Even the 3-wheelers of these don't turn the best.
Nah, you gotta give her a little go juice and keep her steering. Power steering works better when you got a little bit more flow to it.
That's true. I know I don't want you to tear up my field when you're out here, so.
That's
But
right.
skilled applicator like you, I'm not too worried.
I don't know. I'd have to go to the owner there. He's on board. He's an older operator. He knows the better tricks of the trade. Let's just say.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we'll get him out here at some point. I know he likes doing a little spreading every now and again.
Yeah. Gets him out of the office.
Yeah.
Now, if we could just take his cell phone away while he's out there, he'd be a happier person, I think.
I think so. I think so.
Hey, you missed that corner.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
That's sloppy work.
It's my farm. I'm not too worried about it.
Hey, farmers are really particular about their corners. That's why you always double check to make sure you back into
Oh,
them.
yeah. Everybody likes it when you back into a corner.
That's right.
All
And
right.
you know, not a lot of people understand why you back into corners.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty amazing as the crops come up and you see the spray operators that do back into corners versus the ones that just make the loop. And, you know, you get a lot of guys wondering, well, why is there always weeds in this corner of the field or in that corner of the field? That's a good, you know, I got a good answer for that. And it's like the operators aren't taking their time to do the good enough job where they need to back into their corner and start their next pass.
Well, yeah, I know it doesn't take a lot of time for you just to slow down when you do your first pass around the field. Make sure you put a nice edge on it, back into the corners, makes it look really nice and professional. And I know the farmers really do appreciate it. GPS ain't taken. But anyway, so Sean, you tell me how long have Midwood had this machine?
I'd probably say, you know, let's see, 2010. We're going on about 8 years.
Wow, still in pretty good condition for how old it is. But I know you guys take good care of your equipment. It's kind of priority number one.
That's right. That is priority number one. You know, taking care of the equipment is, you know, your bread and butter. You know, if you want to put pen to paper here.
Oh, definitely. Coming out pretty good. Yeah, that's a nice rig. Must be kind of nice with all these, with the booms. You can kind of spread a little when it's a little windier and a little tougher conditions out too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I wish it was just a little wider. You know, speaking from my applicating experience, it'd be nice if it was, what is this, probably 60 foot?
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks about 60.
Huh. It's a weird little part of the map.
Yeah, you got to deal with all those little weird spots in any mappy farm, really.
Yeah, and
there's all kinds of challenges out there, and you know, some people think, oh, your machine's got auto steer, so you really don't have to do anything. Well, yeah, it has auto steer. It's not autopilot, where it does it all itself. I mean, you still need an operator in the seat to, you know, make those calls that a machine cannot. You know, otherwise that machine will just keep going straight for days.
yeah, I know it would be really slick for one that could automatically turn, but I don't think we're completely there yet.
Give it time. That autonomous tractor. I watched some videos on a autonomous tractor pulling a grain cart.
Oh yeah, which one, the Kinsey or?
Yeah.
Yeah, that Kinsey autonomy project is awesome.
I think it's pretty cool. I watched some other videos of some other grain carts, and have you seen the one video of the grain cart that has no PTO and no auger, and it literally dumps the corn into the semi by lifting up the entire hopper?
Really?
Absolutely. It's pretty amazing. It fills a semi in minutes.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, not just one hopper either. I mean the entire trailer.
So it's the entire length of the machine then?
I forget how many bushels that actually hold, but it holds enough to where, well, the guy that was shelling corn, he must have been, cranking out some good yields. But when he went to dump into the semi waiting, it literally filled up the semi in probably 8 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to see.
Well, not having to auger material back and forth, you can just dump it. A lot less
Oh, yeah.
cracks, damage to the grain, and that's something the elevators really are wanting, because that's lost product,
Well, that, and it definitely helps the farmer too. I mean, he's not getting charged the damage on cracked kernels and stuff like that, and they don't
Right.
have to specifically send it to a certain bin because of the damage done. But I mean, in the long term, the way that they're cranking out the equipment nowadays, it's definitely a better way to do things as far as farming goes.
Yeah, for sure. I know they've got that tri-bine out. That's a pretty cool unit, trying to reduce how much weight is on the combine itself and kind of spread that load out is really important as well. Just all these new technologies are really kind of slick to see come and go.
Yeah, and the new technology coming out is a great thing that is going on in today's world of agronomy. Um, but if you ask me, a lot of the newer technology, it's all well and good, but you also need that operator that's willing to take care of that piece of equipment and go the extra mile with it. That way, it stays in the shape that you bought it in, and it's gonna last years down the road. But you spend that money up front, and it's a lot of money for a co-op to upfront that kind of money for a piece of equipment. But you also need that operator that's going to take care of that piece of equipment to keep the co-op going, and later on down the road get newer equipment. That's why it's really important to keep it in great condition.
Well, and I know the member farmers of the co-op really do appreciate having the newer equipment. They can do the stuff that they're wanting to do on their more modern operations, if you will. And everything working right really helps their bottom line as well. I know, this variable rate stuff's really important to guys nowadays, especially the new equipment and stuff like that. And, local co-op being able to, service that really helps them down the line too when growing their operation.
Oh, absolutely. Variable rate spreading is definitely a key player in the game because it's helping the farmers see where they are needing the product the most to help generate the best yields for that crop. Um, and it's saving them money, and it's also making them money at the same time. That's why it's always important to, have your fields checked every year, 2 years, whatever your program may be. And a lot of farmers don't really know much about variable rate technology and what it does and what it's for. I mean, you have the older farmers that are stuck in their ways, and you try and guide them to the way that would benefit them. But a lot of times, them older farmers are really just stuck and happy in their way, and they don't want to, don't want change. And speaking of change, the videos that we're watching today on the new John Deere airflow machine, it's all well and good that you can do 25, 30 miles an hour on those flat lands. But here, 25, 30 miles an hour through a field is just insane.
Yeah, I know some of the rolling hills you guys got.
Yeah, the hills, the tile blowouts, the little podink fields. You know, there's no sense in going that fast, and a lot of the farmers don't want you to be going that fast because it's unsafe for one, it's their ground for two, and they don't want to see that. That's kind of, in my opinion, no offense to the guys out west that have the flat plains.
Yeah, they can do it.
Professional. Yeah, it absolutely. That's professional out there for them because it's time is money. You know, here it's the same thing. Time is money, but you know, it's also important to be safe and you know, keep your equipment running smoothly. And 25, 35 miles an hour is just that's a little insane to be out spraying and spreading fertilizer.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I know that with an airflow machine, it's not as bad, but if you know, getting above that 20-mile-an-hour range, it can really affect pattern as well. So,
Oh yeah, pattern's a big key when you're out doing dry fertilizer. It's just as important, you know, as you're out spraying too. You nailed it there, Gus. Pattern is everything, and you know, setup is everything too. You know, for you to hit that pattern to where you want it to be in the conditions that you're spreading in, it's always very important all around.
right. But you know, it's amazing to see. You were mentioning some of the older farmers set in their ways, and you know, and it's amazing to see those guys just slightly starting to pick up on this technology, and they're, you know, starting to see, hey, let me manage my stuff a little bit better. You know, it's those smaller farms that, you know, a couple hundred acres, and they're even, you know, seeing the benefits of some of this precision technology. Um, Something weird don't have reverse. That's really weird. Kind of stuck here on the ground. Um, but like I was saying, you know, even some of these guys are saying, okay, they really care about their ground. They want to take, want to make sure they're not losing nutrients. They don't want to be, you know, doing that kind of stuff. And they're actually seeing where the precision side, what little they can do, you know, if it's equipment limitations or whatever, you know, seeing that benefit. And you know, it's a process. It's been around for a little bit, but you know, it takes time for guys to accept something new.
Oh, absolutely. Something new, you know, to these older generation farmers, something new is a big change to them. And, you know, it's a big step for them to accept something new that can, you know, replace an operator or replace the farmer or, you know, that's going to take over. Um, and that's not really what it's all about. And it's making everybody's life easier as far as in the ag industry. I believe that, you know, this newer equipment is there to help us in the long run for the guys that are struggling with the types of ground they have or struggling to get yields, or just having the problems in general with their ground. You know, the agronomy business is more than just spreading fertilizer and a place to get your chemicals from.
Right. Right.
It's a place of knowledge, really.
It truly is, you know. You know, it's learning, it's doing research plots, it's trying to figure out what best ways we can do stuff. You know, a lot of this stuff is about efficiency and trying to make sure we don't over apply and doing everything right, because you know, we're trying to be as best stewards to the ground as we can. And you know, farmers kind of bear a lot of it. And I know, you know, even on the ag services side, it's kind of important to us as well, you know, because if farmers are getting a bad rap, we're getting a bad rap with them. You know, it's
Oh,
kind of this
absolutely.
whole team approach to farming that we like to, you know, try to make sure we're doing everything the best way we can. So, and that, you know,
Oh
that
yeah.
ties back in all into, you know, what we're doing, what we're learning from the university. You know, land grant colleges help there with stuff and what we come up with. You know, it's all really important.
Oh yeah. And you know, excuse me. There's a lot of, you know, people out there that are,
Come on.
you know, very knowledgeable about what ground, what your type of ground needs, depending on the soil, or you know, you have an insect problem, you know, especially coming in and you're saying, hey, I have an issue. Would you guys like to come out and look at it? And you know, that's where it starts to get, you know, more involved with the customer and keeping him informed and knowledge about, you know, what his ground is telling him as far as what he needs. And you know, this is the type of insects you have. And you know, if the agronomy guys can't solve it, and you know, uh, the well, the owner, or not the owner, the manager on here, he's very knowledgeable about things that he saw and has dealt with over the years. So, and if he can't guide you in the right direction or answer a farmer's question or what his thoughts are, the universities are definitely a big help in figuring out problems to be solved.
Right.
As far as all that goes.
Well, I know, that's kind of the thing with a lot of co-ops is if they can't figure it out, they're going to know somebody who can. And that's what we're talking about. It's tying in with the co-ops or whoever, ag service you're doing. It's really important to deal with them as well because they're kind of a partner on the farm.
They're the silent partner.
And in many cases, that is the truth. But anyway, we're on here second field now. Having a great conversation about co-ops and kind of sustainability of farming practices here in the States. I got the Midwood applicator Sean with us, out spreading here on this field doing some fall fertilizer. Just a couple 100 pounds of 923 on. And yeah, just talking about some fun sides of the co-op industry, especially with kind of what we deal with all day. But yeah, try to make this headland turn here. Not push the wrong button. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah. Alright. Need to work on my harvesting skills, it looks like. Leaving a little bit of crop in this field.
Yeah, might want to go to the tender as well. The box is getting empty.
Yeah, we'll run her empty. Yeah, we might make this pass. Okay, we won't.
I was gonna say, it looks like it's getting pretty thin there.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll.
Hey, he's your combine operator. He's really leaving stuff behind.
Yeah. That's. I can't remember if I cut this or the higher man cut it, so. Not too big of a deal. Just go down to the waterway and just. You probably don't want to drive over the big bushes.
Sometimes you got to make your own driveway into certain fields.
Yeah, I've been there.
Small bushes are an exempt. You get into those big tall trees, then yeah, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, you don't really want to go into that.
Oh, you ran her empty.
All right, pull up the the truck here. Ooh, I don't know if that's gonna fit.
If you got to, there you go. Fold them in.
Whew. I like that conveyor system. That really loads quick. Alright, we got quite a few tons to spread today, so I got about half the day to do her. I think we'll get her done. Yeah, now if I want to break character, I wish that we could incorporate imagery in this game. That would be awesome.
That would be slick.
I mean, we're asking a lot from this game, but that would be nice. See if I can find where we ran out. Alright.
If you have to, by the time you get it primed, if you start 15 feet from where you stop, then by the time you get started, your boom's already be primed, so that 15 feet you already covered, you basically should be good to go.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking it's right about here. Now we gotta flip to the cab view here for a bit.
Yeah, you gotta go to the next field there first. There you go.
Yeah, I forget you're on the delay a little bit, but
It's just past the beans that you left in there. Yep. It'd be that pass to your right.
Yeah, I wish the Raven would work a little bit better in this monitor. I see that this being an older machine, it's got a little older monitor. It's got the good old, what was that, Viper Pro?
Yeah.
Hit the wrong button
The Viper
again.
Pros are actually a really good piece to have. They're reliable. They work great. There's a lot of pros and cons though to um, every monitor style. Everybody has their twerk. The kind of kinks you got to work out all the time. You run into quite a few. Not every one of them's perfect.
Yeah, I know the Pro has been around for so long that I think just about everybody about now has messed with it or been around it and can at least understand how to use it. The newer style, the Viper 4s, I think they're a little bit different, but the good old Pro, it's been around quite a while. So
It's definitely user friendly for newer guys just coming into it and learning how to spread and spray. um, the Viper Pro, I think, is a nice user friendly. Like you were saying, the Viper Pro 4. Now that is I think it's a pretty cool unit. But there again, there's probably all kinds of pros and cons to that as well too. And me being a John Deere operator and being around that monitor a lot, you really start to learn the ins and outs of the Green Star system or the Raven Viper Pro system. Everybody has their weaknesses with every one of them. But as far as the John Deere system goes, that's also a nice user friendly too. Um, it just depends on how you feel about it. I know the Viper Pro. I've had some issues with it, where the screen starts jumping around quite a bit, or some systems won't load, and you got to keep fighting with it.
yeah, but I think that's our new modern world we live in, technology, and that these field computers, they're rough and sturdy, but
Oh, they
they
take
have their
a
days.
oh yeah, they go for some wild rides along with the operator. So
Yeah.
they bounce around quite a bit. But you're right, they're very rugged and sturdy for the conditions that they are put through. I've seen some guys, especially I've seen it done on this machine here, where the air conditioner quits. I'm gonna open my door and let some cool air in. Well, that's all well and good, but you're also letting in the environment to that computer.
Right. Yeah, you get
And
a bunch of
moisture is just not computer friendly, and dust, it plays havoc on that thing.
yeah, I know fertilizer dust and humidity is really a big issue. If you want something to rust quick, throw it in some damp and a little humid weather, and you're gonna have rust pretty dang quick.
Oh yeah. I mean, the older generation operator who has operated this machine, uh, he took to it very easily, and he remembers everything that he needs to do. There are some things that need to be changed, especially when you go from a straight rate to variable rate, or you go from lime to dry fertilizer. There's things you got to change, and that's where I think that like we were having the conversation with the newer equipment coming out. They'll never get rid of an operator because that person needs to be there to change those things. Yeah, sure, you can train a computer to change setups, but you can't have the computer get out of the cab and take dividers out and adjust gates and adjust spinners. Um, so, uh, you know, that's where I say it's definitely a user-friendly monitor.
Yeah, You know, it's kind of fun going talking to the guys who used to spread without field computers versus, well, you know, me or you who haven't really ever spread without one, and it's, well, yeah, you put a piece of tape on your mirror and or something,
I still have yet to learn that trick.
and oh, it's a fun trick, but you know, you just do the tricks and you're pretty much there all the time, and you get enough time in a machine, you can pretty much do everything by eye. Um, but it's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, speed and pressure is the way it goes.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that we're always told?
Well, yeah. If everything else craps out on you, which has happened to
Yeah.
me, you pretty much gotta spray or spread old school, is like I call it, and you pretty
Hey, that's
much
why
know what you're doing, but
hey, that's why they still make those little pull-out charts. You know, this is how fast you're
yeah.
gonna go. This is what your pressure is gonna be. This is the type of nozzle you need. I mean, they still make those charts to this day.
Oh yeah. You know, and that's the newer operators. It's like, well, never sprayed with, or I've never dropped foam when I'm spraying. It's like you ought to get used to it, you know, because that GPS goes out on you, and you got a couple thousand acres to spray. You're not sitting waiting for the mechanic. You got to be out there
Well,
spraying, you know.
yeah, exactly. And you know, a lot of times now, um, sometimes newer equipment does not like to spray without GPS because it
Right.
needs it for some reason, and you know, uh, and that's where it can get kind of tricky, especially doing that because you know you try to explain to people that, well, why can't you just spray it old school? Well, you can, but it's not going to give me a start and stop point. It's not going to tell me where, you know, I missed, or
Mhm.
you know, variable rates. Variable rates, you
Oh
could be
yeah.
driving along, and if you lose GPS, guess what? You just lost your variable rate map, and you're not going to know what you need anywhere. And that's where it gets kind of iffy with the monitors and the GPS system.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's really tricky. Some days when I mean, we've all had them. You just have a bad GPS day, and there's not
Nothing
much you
works.
can do. You just gotta
Yeah.
kind of roll with the punches you're given.
Oh, absolutely.
But and that's again nice to having, you know, being able to do a little old school. If you can't do the VRT, you can at least go, you know, get some straight rate done until the GPS access, you know, gets better. Um, but you know, some of these newer sprayers, they don't even have foam. It's really amazing to be relying on a GPS that much. But that's, you know, it's kind of where we're at this point. A lot of newer equipment's got it on it, you know, standard. So.
Oh yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, we're just about done with our last pass here. We're gonna go ahead and fold up. I think we'll go and grab field 22, spread that one off because that's gonna get corn on it as well, and then we'll cross the road. Turn GPS off. Don't want that to engage, do we?
Not too many questions tonight on the live chat.
No, it's yeah, it is a Monday night, you know.
It is pretty quiet.
Yeah, they're generally quieter streams on during the week. Yeah, we'll get down here. I think that's a good spot for the semi. You can just sit there for the time being. I know I've seen one of your guys' tender driver. He carries a hammock around with him.
Yeah,
Just,
he does. He gets kind of spoiled when he's out there.
well, I know you try to keep him as busy as possible, but
Yeah, especially when we're running those really nice variable rate flat fields, and
oh
you know,
yeah.
he's calling for a couple 100 pounds the acre, and you can really rock on and knock out some dry fertilizer and keep him a hopping. That's what we like to do and keep it going and get things done in a professional manner and good quality time. You know, everybody's happy, like I was saying.
Well, yeah, I mean these modern application equipment is pretty impressive on what it can do in a day. I know as business as a business, that's what you guys really need. So,
Oh, absolutely.
because a lot of acres got to be done quick. You know, I always say that you're not one farm. You're about 50 or however many you are for the co-op. And your season
Yeah,
starts with the first guy and it ends with the last guy. So
absolutely.
multiple customers with different soils and stuff. They get started at different times.
Yeah,
Set the GPS here.
yeah. They're all different. You know, none of them.
Alright. It's kind of an odd shaped field. I know I planted it east-west, but we might spread it north-south. Might be a little quicker.
Hey, you know, there's nothing says about easy when you're in a co-op and you go to these really nice flat fields to a field that's 6 acres and you're folding up more than you are spreading or spraying.
Right. Yeah, it can be a wild day sometimes. You know, you go from nice big to small little pieces, but everybody's farm's a little different.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, if that's what you got to farm, that's what you got to farm. No big worries or hassle on that. So.
Nope. 6 acres is 6 acres. We're gonna treat it just like it was a 500-acre field.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, we got a new person in here tonight.
No, Joseph, how's it going tonight? I think that's I can't keep everybody straight some days. Been a long day here.
Hey, I tell you what, in the co-op world, there's a lot of times where you see farmers multiple times, and sometimes you don't remember their name. Yeah, you just know their last name or where they farm or what field they're talking about.
Yeah. Well, when you're on, week 4 of spring with about, 4 hours of sleep a night.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Can't remember everybody's name, but
Yeah.
I think we've all been there at some point.
Absolutely.
Alright, I think I'm gonna put another headland pass on this one. I have to do it old school because I don't have the GPS on. Kinda. What the heck? Yeah, that'd be close enough, I think.
You know what I hear often is when you say close enough, well, it's close enough for agricultural purposes.
Yeah, that's the truth.
That's a gray area.
That does get said a lot when trying to make things work. I hate these points.
You know, speaking of points, point rows are. I swear, I wish those were a thing of the past.
Well, when you got waterways, you can't really spread around them. Pretty much got to do that.
Yeah.
And that's another thing about being an operator is when you start a field, thinking, okay, I got the map here. How do I want to start so my turns are easy? I can catch everything.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, and that just doesn't always work out the way you want it to either.
No, sometimes they're just almost impossible to figure out how to get her done the best way. But
Oh yeah, and in a field that has no crop, it's phenomenal because you can start where you want. You can drive it clear across the field, and you can just start in any corner away to work your way back to the drive, and
right,
that works out pretty good. But once you get a crop in there, you're pretty much stuck to one way or the other. So
yeah,
there is no driving across the field.
yeah, no. Hey Joe, pretty good. Hope your day went good as well. Uh, Decent day at work, so decided to start the stream up here a little bit, do a little fertilizer spreading. I'm here with one of the operators from Midwood, just talking about some of the stuff that we kind of deal with at work while we're spreading some fall fertilizer for next year's crop. Glad this kind of flings out a little farther away than the booms are, because we'd have some skips out here.
Oh yeah, and if I had my choice of type of machine we were using here, I prefer the spinner methods. The booms, they're great and all, but a lot of things can go wrong with a boom setup like that with the airflow. I know a lot of guys would run into urea issues, not getting the booms cleaned out or getting the packs of buildup in them cleaned out really good for the season, and they sit over the winter or through the summer, and they would literally rust the tubes out.
Yeah.
And that's why I not to prefer to have an air machine like that, because that can get costly in a hurry.
Yeah. I know, there are pluses and minuses to the airflows. I know they're a lot more popular out west than here in the Midwest. And that's just kind of geography. They've got a lot more wind they got to contend with. And that's kind of important to them. I don't, in our area, I don't think I've seen one where they're not really prevalent at all. So
Yeah, I would say they're not really prevalent in the area, but there are a few co-ops that do have them in their lineup, and I haven't personally seen any of them out and about running. So it'd be kind of interesting to go catch one of these out and about and see how much alike and different they are,
right.
versus a spinner. But yeah, the out west with the wind and having the airflow machines are probably the best way for them. And the spinner side, you can spread fertilizer in some decent wind and still cover a good pattern if you know your machine well enough to get it set up that way to take on those kinds of conditions. I've heard stories of guys using spinners with 15, 20 mile an hour plus winds, and do a really good pattern, and they'll do a spread check with the tubes. Now the tube method is really cool when you're doing a pan test, because it can definitely show you things that you need to change, or pieces of equipment that could be replaced, like your throwers, your discs, your the biggest thing, those reflectors on the back of the machine. If you have buildup on those, and if they're dented, if they're bent in any shape or form, or have lime on them, that will really screw up your pattern as far as that goes when you're out spreading.
Yeah, I know, proper calibration is key, and it's really important, especially with this, I don't want to say higher grade equipment, but there's a lot of technology in it now, and it has to be calibrated right. Everything's got to be set right, or you're gonna have some issues. It's amazing what little things can do to really affect everything, and that kind of goes upon the the applicators, if they're good at what they do, you know, it's going to be in tip-top shape every time.
Absolutely. And you know, like on the chat feed here, the speed and pressure is foundation of today's technology.
Mm-hmm.
That is absolutely the number one thing. And along with the tape on the mirror, those tricks as far as the tape on the mirror are very helpful in how things were accomplished when before GPS even came
Mm-hmm.
around. And you know even the pan testing was always something that should have been done. And you know yeah.
Tape
Yeah,
on the mirrors.
until you have a skip.
Well, I'll tell you what, you have a skip and you're spraying, and you got to go back out with a backpack sprayer or something, you don't make that skip again. I'll tell you what. That's a
No,
personal
that's
experience right there coming through.
I was just gonna say I've been there, done that. Many times the old backpack sprayer has covered some acres.
Yeah, we don't like to admit that it happens, but it happens.
Oh, it does, absolutely. You know, and not just because we wanted it to, it's because of just errors that are easily mistakenly made every day.
Well,
spraying.
yeah, I mean, we try to do as professional a job as possible, but we are human.
Oh, absolutely.
And you do miss something once in a while.
And you know, and a lot of times too, you know, like you were saying, the fourth week in the spring, and you know, you forget what day of the week it is. You could be so caught up in what's going on, you know, maps coming in and customers wanting their fields sprayed before they plant, or you know, it's just one of those things where you just get caught up in the moment, and you get out to a new field and you're loaded, and you like have a new chemical that you haven't been spraying, and you forget to prime your booms.
Mm-hmm.
That's the number one thing that you'll see, because you get caught up in what's going on.
Right. Yeah, I know. You know, just it can be a little thing. You think you forget that you cleaned out. You're on a different crop or whatever, and you forget to prime the boom. Guess what? You get a date with the backpack sprayer. Yeah. You know. And about 3 times of that, and it don't happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, unless you're the guy that's going out to cover somebody else's
right, right. Which happens.
Yeah, you're more than cussing, but it happens.
Yeah. It's some of the fun of doing custom application work, but
oh man, custom application is an awesome job. As far as, you know, there's a lot of things that break up the monotonous of the busy season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you start having nicknames for other people. You start having nicknames for the field. You know, on the maps, you'll have farmers' field names, and they have wacky names for these fields. And you could be cruising along through the field, and you can come up with another name for that field. you just got to share it with the rest of the guys, just because, you know, that made your day, and you kind of just got to share it with everybody else, because somebody else is having a shittier day than you are.
Oh yeah. No, finding some humor in some of the stuff that we do is really helpful some days. I know that's for sure.
Oh, I'll tell you what, you want to know what's not humorous is when you go out to spread fertilizer for a customer, and they just couldn't wait to get manure on the field, and you got to go in there and spread the fertilizer for the man, and guess what? You're going back to the shop to wash your machine off. It's because it smells like you parked that thing in the manure pit. Everybody finds it humorous because they're not the ones that have to wash it off.
Right. Right, that's for sure.
Personally, I've had that happen to me personally, and I'd like to have just, you know, taken a 5-gallon bucket underneath the machine as I was washing it off to catch all the manure in the water and just stick it in their truck and be like, there, now I get to have a laugh for the day.
Right. All right, Miller, we are straight rating this just due to constraints of farm sim. If this was 15 or farm sim, the previous title, we'd be doing some variable rate, but since that mod is not out yet, we gotta do some straight rate tonight.
There you go. Smell fold your booms in going down the road.
Oh well, you know, I completely forgot that they don't have a collision. You'll be good.
Yeah.
Getting talk.
The neighbor's mailbox.
Yeah, that's true. Done that before. Not with a. Not with a.
Why is he yelling at us?
My tape. My tape. I don't see any tape as I drive through some
tape either. Get in the cab mode. I want to see the mirrors. I'm pretty sure I didn't put any tape on there before we left.
No. Gotta rely on that GPS. At least here we can count rows, but I was always terrible at that.
You know, on the new Farm Simulator 19, I'm kind of curious to see what the newer mods are on that and the updates they've made.
On 18 you're talking about, the mobile version?
No, 19.
Oh, 19. Well, we haven't seen a release or anything about it, so we'll have to, it probably won't be till next fall.
Yeah. Oh, there's that hired hand again, not taking.
Yeah, I know. But I gotta feed the deer somehow.
That's right. Hey, the deer eat your corn, you eat the deer.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you're kind of getting your money back.
Well, like I said, hopefully you can get some time off of work and get some hunting done. Hey, you're more than welcome to shoot any deer out this farm. As long as it's not a green tractor, you're good to go.
Yeah, that'd be an awfully big take home if it was one of those.
Yeah, I don't think anybody'd be too happy about that.
I was just gonna say, somebody'd be pretty pissed.
Try to kind of a crooked edge here on this field. Try to straighten that up for you when you guys come back. A little extra grass near the ditch wouldn't hurt nothing.
No.
Gotta stick to that nutrient control. Alright. At least in the stocks we can kind of see where we've been a little bit better than.
Yeah.
Come up with a meme there when the GPS doesn't engage, you just kind of go all over. Would like to check out one of these in real life. That'd be pretty neat. Looks like all the blower and everything's up by the cab.
Yeah, it's definitely not like the newer machines nowadays. The blowers are usually pretty close up to the cab, and the way that the newer setup is actually, I think, a little better because there's less debris back there. But you get those days, you know, where you get that wind that'll just blow right out from underneath that thing and come right up into that blower.
Oh yeah.
That's where the issue for the air machines is. It can get kind of tricky.
Well, yeah, I mean, you definitely need clean air going into that system, or are you just gonna kind of begging for problems, really?
Yeah.
Kind of gotta slow down here. There we go. Pretty nice. This is a pretty nice model, though. Got a little issue there, but might no, it's not set. Oh. Say this, we kind of took it hard here today at work. Kind of sore tonight. Yeah, we'll get this field done here quick. Hopefully we got enough fertilizer on us. Then go over and check to see how that FS wheat is down at the home farm. We planted it a couple days ago, I'm thinking. I don't know, the days are kind of merging together now. See how that germed up.
That sounds like a typical fall day,
Yeah.
especially when you're busy.
Yeah, that's the truth. I think I gotta look at the records. I'm not sure if we spread that other field yet or not, but I think I've got enough in my spreader to do that. Can't let you have all the fun of spreading on the farm.
Sometimes that's the happiest place to be, is in the machine.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Nobody bothers you too much. You just get to run.
Yep.
So, Sean, if you could explain a little bit, you know, if this was a spinner machine and we were kind of doing variable rate, you know, how does that all work?
Oh, absolutely. You know, a spinner machine, it with the monitor, as you set it up, you have your maps uploaded through a USB thumb drive, and you know, once your maps are uploaded and you go through and you start a job and you know, click on a customer that you're spreading for, it generates the map on your monitor. So as your machine crosses through the colored patterns of the maps, actually, the GPS has to go through them, and what that GPS will do on spinner machines and, you know, basically your air machines as well, once that GPS goes through a colored piece of the map, and it'll tell your machine that your belt needs to either speed up or slow down as far as what the prescription is actually asking for. So setting up a spinner machine is actually quite easy. As far as, you know, gate settings, they're always going to be the same unless you have to change types of products. Types of products change, and your gate settings change. Your spinner speeds will actually change as well. You know, depending on the product, you can literally crush the product if you're throwing it too hard. You know, you're spinning them too fast. And your spinners actually have a setting as well as far as depth. There's a gauge on the side that tells you, you know, how many inches your fans are, and that's also another thing that plays a factor in your spreading too. And variable rate spreading is actually quite easy because you really don't have to do a whole lot, but you know, set up your machine, set up your maps, and you drive. There's no changing of application rates. It does it all by itself. The belt speeds up, it slows down. You don't ever have to adjust that; it does it itself. So variable rate spreading is, a pretty really reliable tool to have because it's helping the farmer. Uh, uh, it's helping the operator, and variable rate is actually, I think, a really good tool to have.
Now, generally, when you're doing that, you're doing like a potassium or K, and then you're doing phos as well.
Yes. Sometimes when you on the VRT, you'll have a split box, and depending on however you as an operator want to set it up, you'll have one product in the front, and you'll have another product in the back. A lot of times it's, for me, I will put the potash in the front and the DAP in the back. It's just, however you want to set it up. And, every one of those has its own setup. So your monitor, for example, you set the density. So every monitor you set up as far as each product's density, and the the monitor actually will change it for you. So as you change products in your monitor, it goes right to what it's already calculated to be, um, because it's already preset. When you do pan tests, it's all set in there for you as well. So any rate, when you have a VRT split box like that, each belt is going to spin at a different speed because of that product needing to be heavier than the other. So it's not, they're blending out the box, but they're not blended before they get to the spinners, if you kind of understand what I mean. They come together at the end. And with even with a VRT box, you can still do straight rates. So you would just basically change out of your prescription, and you would go to a rate to what you need to be spreading in. 200 pounds. And you can set your boxes even to do a blend and still have them separated, and just set them at a different, rates. If you have a problem, right? For example, if your prescription file does not load and you know the averages, that's a great thing to know too, because if your machine runs into a problem and you have a corrupt file, or something happens to your VRT map, and you have to go to a straight rate, you can calibrate each, or you can set each box to a certain weight. So you can still get the averages that you're basically needing to put out, but you're doing it as a straight rate.
All right. Just trying to see the chat here, but see somebody hitting us up in the chat here.
Wow. And not only does he need, to have enough of that, but the operators also bring the man ponds for the manager as well. Because sometimes he can be a little heavy on some days.
Now, don't make me moderate you two here. All right, we're cracking this field. We're just about done. Trying to think which field we should try to get to next. The truck's almost empty. We've got quite a bit of fertilizer spread today. Actually, there's only, well, we got two more. We might just get up to field 37 and see what time that is yet. Here. Don't know if we really need to do any fall spraying or not. I know we ran a bunch of Liberty on these beans this year. Had pretty clean fields. I know the credenza you guys sold me really did well. Really enjoying that. So.
Well, that's good. Bayer's got some really good products, and Liberty being one, it's definitely a great arsenal to have in your toolbox.
Yeah, no, the Liberty's a really good chemical for a good change up on weed control. You know, I wasn't really ready to hop on the dicamba bandwagon, and the Liberty's kind of really helped with some mare's tail issues I've had. You know, one other thing was doing um, some fall burn down, but didn't really have a lot of time last fall to get that done. So, you know, using that Liberty option was really nice to have in my back pocket.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm definitely not. I'm not a fan or excited or even motivated to jump on that dicamba bandwagon.
Yeah, I mean,
There's a lot of risk to that.
yeah, it's a great chemical and a great program, you know, but I've seen it work on pre-emerge for beans, and it's really good deal. But I know there's been some issues here, but I think it'll get worked out.
Oh yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
it's new technology. I know it's been really fun to talk to older applicators who were around when Roundup came out, and it was kind of a big deal, you know, guys just switching beans in the middle of fields and stuff like that. And with anything new technology, we all got to learn how to use it right. So
Oh, absolutely. There's always that trial and error for everything.
that's the
Even
truth.
with a chemical.
All right, get loaded up here again. Yeah, Miller, I thought you'd like that logo. We'll take a quick break from spreading, and I'll show off this awesome truck you guys have here. Really like the conveyor system.
You know, I would really like to see that in action as well. Not had too much interaction with that kind of a setup either.
Yeah, that kind of an undercar conveyor is really nice. Nice option. I mean, you don't really have the bin space, but if you're running straight product constantly, it's not that bad of a deal.
Yeah.
All right, now I folded the booms up for you this time, so.
Well, that's a plus. It's safety first.
Yeah, we get a. I know I own my own rig on this farm, but I know you guys got a couple other ones. I'd love to maybe we'll do another visit there to the co-op up there, and kind of check out the other machinery you got, maybe in another video. Probably won't be tonight because we got get as much fertilizer spread as we can, but no, be pretty neat. Is that true that you guys got a Hagee up there? Yes.
I'm assuming so. I haven't seen it yet. You know, it's staying pretty busy at the location that we're at. Don't get out too much to to see what else is going on. You got other priorities to tend to.
Well, you operators being busy is kind of number one on during the year.
Oh yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I was talking to the manager there and said you guys were getting one or something, so I figured I'd ask you. But apparently you've been so busy, you guys can't keep get new equipment coming in.
Yeah, I don't really stay too much on the office gossip, but you know, maybe one day I'll catch up on it all. Or I just talk to some of the other folks that are in the office about what the new gossip is.
Yeah. All right. Well, what do we think? Maybe pass and a half. Probably finish this one off.
Yeah, actually, I think you got maybe a half a pass left down there at the jog.
Yeah, we're back to our good old friend, the point row here.
Mm-hmm. There it is.
One of the joys of spreading, there's never any crop there generally. You can just turn wherever you need to.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta love the unevenness of everything.
Yeah,
Not
nothing
everything
can ever be square.
That's right.
Just never wide enough. Story of my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Oh man.
Alright, we can leave
Oh,
that
I
a little
guess.
bit.
Now, see, that's where section control would be handy to have in dry fertilizer.
Well, that's having the boom system, it's a little different. I know
Yeah.
the new leader G5 boxes apparently can variable width spread, but I'd like to see that in action before I get completely sold on it.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, got this one done. We're getting a lot of acres knocked out quick.
Yeah, as long as you're done efficiently and with quality work, you should be all right.
Yeah, that's kind of nice having these a lot bigger fields. We can kind of get stuff done pretty quick.
And that'd be all.
Alright, and we're going past field 30 here. Would like to pick that up at some point. And field 31 right across the creek over there. That's another nice big chunk of ground that hopefully we can pick up next year. See how the winter goes maybe. I know we got the equipment for it, but just kind of managing all the workload there to get it done. Probably gonna have to call on Midwood to help me out, especially on the application side, so I can stay in the planner.
And that's, you know what, that's what we're there for, is, to keep you guys rolling in the field as far as planning goes, and we take care of the rest.
Yeah, I'll say this: it is a lot easier to make a phone call and it get done than try to worry about hooking up a tractor, going to go get fertilizer, when I could just be out planting.
Oh yeah, it's just as easy, to call in, and just talk to them about, hey, I'm swamped, I can't get to this field. You guys mind coming out and spreading it? It's just that simple too, and not a lot of people think it's that simple, and it really is.
Well, that's part of working closely with your co-op is everybody knowing what's going on or planned on for the operation, and then if something does happen that the grower can't get to it, that that co-op can kind of jump in and help out quick and keep you ahead of the rain or whatever may be coming.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
All right. Now this field, we gotta watch out. There's a tile inlet that we try to keep away from, so just get folded out and we'll start spreading here. Now we're getting over here, there's a lot more roll to this field than those other ones. almost see that tile.
Yeah, you gotta love a field with a pretty good roll to
it. Well, yeah, you scare some of these flatland guys.
Yeah, I've heard a few stories of some of those.
Oh yeah.
The guy literally had the other guy finish it because it was too steep of a hill for him.
Hey. Freak some people out.
Oh, hey, you know, you're setting up that tall, and you know you got that much weight or that much dry fertilizer on it, it can get kind of squirrely.
I know some of the stuff we did last fall kind of spooked the shit out of me, especially with huge loads of lime up that high.
Yeah,
But,
that's when you got to tone it down a little bit.
Anyway, yeah, this field of Envision from FS really did well for me. I know that's had a really decent year and yielded pretty good. I think it's one of the numbers we're gonna stick with, but looking just at the residue on this field, this pretty nice variety. It's not a real tall plant, so it's not going to be too hard to no-till here through in the spring.
Yeah, that's always a plus too. And you know, back to the Envision, you know, if that product is a great product and it works great in your ground, and you had really good luck with it, that's, you know, the key thing too, is, you know, sticking with the product that works the best for your ground.
Well, I know, and you know, some of the missed corn again. Some of the research plots you guys do really help me out on decisions on what to plant, where I should go with it. You know, it's really important.
Absolutely, those research plots are, you know, they're not there for just looks. They're there for people to see and understand about different products that are available on the market that we offer, and you know, for them to seriously take a look at to see if it would work for their types of soil, and you know, have some decent luck with that.
Alright, I think, yeah, we might miss a little here, but I'm not going to be too worried about it. It's pretty good fertility on these fields.
Man, I'd like to know what back room he's talking about, because I don't have a back room. He must be talking about that guy that hangs out with him down in the office all day.
Who is that? Is that guy you keep calling Cup all the time? I mean, my God.
Oh, man, you gotta watch that one. You gotta watch him.
Yeah, I heard he strikes with a vengeance when he does.
Yeah, he's not filled with just red Solo cups.
Right. Well, do you think we're gonna have enough to fill this or finish this field, or are we gonna have to go back for more? I hate guessing at this.
Oh, that's the beauty part of dry spreading. You know, you take enough fertilizer out to do all the jobs, and you know, you get them fields that are odd shaped, and you know, you could have a lot of overlap. That's where I was saying that the section control would be great.
Oh, I know.
Because then you wouldn't have the overlap, and you know, that in turn goes back to product needed or product used, or well, product you're taking back to the plant with you.
Well, we'll just, you know, look at where I just got done spreading that nice kind of 45 of a point row. I gotta light up the whole boom, you know, my whole pattern, and you got that little overlap. But you know, that's another thing, is going back to new technology. That's always changing, and I'm sure we're gonna get to the point where there is no overlap, you know. And
oh yeah.
and a point like that, that's gonna be pretty crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Next thing you know, they're gonna have little shut-off valves on the back where your gate is for fertilizer comes out, and it's gonna shut the gate and shut that spinner off, and then your fertilizer's gonna go to that one side, and then it's gonna open back up.
It'd be really cool, but
I think that's a little too extreme.
As a guy who has assisted in some of the mechanical repairs on stuff like that, that can be a nightmare as well.
Yeah, that's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah. Yeah. Back to that. Yeah. Let's see where we get.
Tight.
It is going to be very tight. But we got about probably half acre around that tile breather. We gotta can't spread because that's just don't want to lose our nutrients down the tile because it's expensive and I'm paying for it, so just the way it's gonna be.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's getting to be pretty close.
Yeah, we'll see where we can get. But no worries if we run out. I'm thinking I might be best to put another headland on that point, on the edge where all those point rows are too. But it's amazing how this field lays. That it's like a big old bowl around here. There's actually a couple of them. Try to make sure everything's tiled as good as you can get, but sometimes the good old checkbook won't let you do that. So
yeah, absolutely.
oh, look at that. Now, how often can you set an AB on the one side and the other side it's exactly the same?
Not very often.
I think it only happens about once a year, maybe.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
Then you got to go out and buy a lotto ticket, because you are lucky that night. Alright, we're getting pretty close to the no spread zone here. We'll, yeah, probably about one pass there, and we'll have to cut it. Yeah, we'll just circle around it here.
Just put flags around that, you know that?
Yeah, I should.
There it is.
Alright, we might have enough having to cut that part of the field out, so. Not a whole lot left. Ooh.
Hey, it might be good, especially going around that blowout there.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you said that was an inlet?
Yeah, breather.
Oh.
It pulls up there, so it's just easier to create an opening in that tile so it can kind of drain off quicker.
Yeah. You know, I listened to a gentleman talk about testing the water that comes out of the field tiles, and that'd be pretty cool to see, because he said he'd like to see the readings around those inlets and breathers, and just to see how much fertilizer is actually going down the tubes and coming out the other end.
Yeah, no, it's quite interesting. I been to a couple talks, where they've done like cover cropping and didn't do cover cropping in fields and then tested water with the inlets, and it's amazing how much you do catch with the cover cropping method, and how much is really even getting lost.
Oh, absolutely.
But you do have to consider how much water there's moving, and especially some states have, if you got rain coming or more than a certain amount, you can't spread just because the loss is too great, or it's kind of unacceptable.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of the new regulations that some states are adopting, which isn't really a bad thing.
No, no, absolutely not. A lot of regulations are starting to come into play, as far as what we do, and that's not necessarily a bad thing either. It can definitely make you or break you. But there's a lot of rules to follow, and everybody has to follow what's been laid out, and sometimes it's usually safer and better off in the long run.
That's true. I'll tell you what, I think that is a good point to end on tonight. I want to thank Sean for letting us ride around while he's spreading some fall fertilizer.
It was a pleasure.
Thanks to Midwood for coming out and doing this for us. And I think that's a good place to end it. So I will hopefully catch all you guys in the next one. We'll probably we'll definitely have Sean back on when might do some spraying later on. And with that, we will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.